right, let's continue our discussion by focusing on how the content on Twitter could be moderated and is creating concerns from a variety of public interest groups with the move to becoming a private company.
Joining us now to discuss is Seth Berenswag, a business and constitutional law attorney. Seth, Elon Musk has said he is all about free speech. We've been talking about it. Let's say he does open the floodgates here and allows more content to be acceptable on Twitter. That could mean, of course, more disinformation, more hate speech, harassment, things of that nature. From a legal standpoint, would there be any safeguards?
Well, there would be very little, if any, safeguards because of the aspect of how this is going to occur. If this deal closes, and as we know, the board has recommended to the shareholders that it be approved, so it's not technically a done deal, but it probably will be approved by the shareholders. The company will then be taken private, and it's a rare transaction. It's highly unusual for this scope of a transaction in the landscape of corporate law to happen. This is one of the biggest such aspects of a transaction of taking a private, making a public company private, the largest such transaction that has occurred in the United States in decades. And of course, the other aspect that makes this deal unique is just the fact that this is one of the biggest public megaphones on the planet. But one of the aspects of the deal that I think isn't getting enough attention is the fact that as we're heading into this transaction, Twitter is one of the worst run companies, one of the worst run publicly traded companies in America. Musk has been getting a lot of negative feedback in many quarters about being skeptical of his approach and what he's going to do to content moderation and so forth. We have to keep in mind that although this company has such magnitude and reach, the management of the company has done a very bad job. It's had very flat stock performance, and it's really been run very poorly. And it already has had a lot of problems with content moderation and control, and a lot of controversy that's gone along with that. Elon Musk is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the United States. So I think it's still up for grabs to see where this goes. But I think he could actually take the company in a very positive direction.
Interesting. So let's talk about the shareholders now, because in public companies, including many social media outlets, they have shareholders and they're responsible to and regulatory guidelines that they have to follow. So how is Twitter going private going to impact that accountability?
Well, it's no longer going to be subject to the various panoply of rules that are governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC has jurisdiction to take vast powers and regulate a broad scope of issues and operational matters that relate to companies that are held publicly, obviously because they need to be able to protect the public at large. If this deal is approved, and it probably will be approved, it's no longer going to be a publicly regulated and publicly held company. So therefore, it's going to be private. And then really the other dimension of this from a corporate operational standpoint is that when the board of directors is appointed, the board acts at the pleasure of the shareholders. Well, who's going to be the shareholder? It's going to be Elon Musk. So the board is really going to be answering to him. And that's not going to be creating a very vibrant oversight aspect anyway. But the benefit of that is that given the fact that he is such a brilliant businessman, and I know he's controversial, but I give him a lot of credit, I predict that he'll put a vibrant board in place, and they'll be able to put in procedures and policies that will take the company in a new direction.
All right, Seth Berenswag, a business and constitution law attorney, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.